Is there anybody who hasn't gone yet?
I think
Um,
so.
yeah, I think Fluffy. There you go, Fluffy. Knock it out.
Yeah, so hi. Well, I picked up this book like 2 years ago, I think. And it happened like as Morgan described, like that ADHD thing that you pick up a book and you like read it halfway through and then you just leave it alone forever. And I was doing the exercises and everything, but yeah, at some point I don't know, I stopped reading it, I stopped doing it. I guess I was focused on a different thing. So I have been wanting to pick it up again for this whole year actually. And I actually even like took it out of my bookshelf and I put it like in the nightstand and everything, and then I never actually even opened it up. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is the signal that I have to do it, and I can have accountability too. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Go, go, go,
I think
skip.
everyone
Come on.
went right.
All right.
For sure.
I think so.
Okay. All right. And just for the record, I have gone ahead and officially started the recording. So now that I think everybody who was going to show up is here, we can actually get started. Um, so week two's meeting is supposed to be covering actual chapter one, um, which let me check the title of that again. Pretty sure. Chapter one, exercises one through three. Psychic and magical power is our birthright. Um, so does anyone have like any general thoughts that they want to share about the exercises? Because I know just based off of some of the conversations I've had with everybody in the channel, everybody's been frustrated, everybody struggled, and everybody was confused. So, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think Matt might have had a reason for doing what he did by placing that as the very first exercise in the book? Uh,
Uh,
Go ahead, Fluffy.
okay. So I just think like at least from most of the exercises that I did like 2 years ago, this is the hardest one, like the first one. Um, and I feel that actually that gives you that, or at least for me, it put me in the mindset of what I have to do, of the work I need to put on to be able like to achieve success. Let's say it that way. So I actually focused like at that time, and I think I mentioned it last week, but it took me around 2 weeks to be able to reach to zero 3 times, in a row. Um, and it was really frustrating, but at the same time, after that happened, it was pretty simple to be able to do it again and again and again. So even though it's really hard at the beginning, I'm still like right now I'm still battling it, but at the same time it's like, okay, just let it go again. Just let it go again. And what happens to me also is that I just keep miscounting. So basically like I get lost on the numbers, but it's like, okay, go ahead, don't worry. So just for like what I think is that actually like keep you in that headspace of the work that needs to be done, but it can get frustrated. So I do understand because it happened to me 2 years ago. It's happening again. So yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anyone else who wanted to share their thoughts about it?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think the exercise is super important. Like what I'm realizing is it's well, I mean I don't know this for a fact, but what I'm what I keep running into is that it seems like the bread and butter of magic and intuition and witchcraft and everything is just being able to like kind of have control over your own mind and thoughts, and like being able to like um I'm kind of like losing all my words, but like I don't know, like being able to like clear your mind and kind of focus in on a certain thing and being able to focus your energy. And I think like I think pretty much every single person in here said they struggle with ADHD. I also do. Um and it's like that's like the hardest thing, but I think the most important thing. Like I think he said in the introduction that like, if you're just like going through the motions of like the thing, it doesn't have any or it might have a little bit of something to it, but like the real power is like within you and within your intention and within like the I guess the energy and the intention you put into it. And like as a very ADHD person, I find myself like I don't want to put the time aside, like I'm just like I want to like rush through everything, and like but I know that like it's the time and the attention that actually gives it the power and the energy to do its work. Like I just want to be like, okay, I'll do like step 1, 2, 3, okay, done, and like move on. Like I don't want to like sit down and actually like put the intention into the thing. And I really need, well, not need, but like I really want to do that. So this I think helps also like us slow down too, possibly, and kind of like get in the habit of like getting into this place to build and do like bigger things.
Okay. Um, I guess I'll go ahead and throw my little 2 cents in on it really quick, and then I'll try to popcorn to someone else if they want to go. Um, so personally, I mean, just as far as chapter one goes for exercises 1 through 3, um, exercise two, I haven't quite gotten to yet. I actually need to set something up with somebody who's available later to try to work through it with a friend. Um, but just being like a full-time worker with like a full-time life that doesn't go anywhere, like picking a solid day to just pretend that I am the oh great reader, fortune teller who can see your past, present, and future and all the options and the roads that they lead down. Um, so eventually I will get to that. And as far as exercise 1 and 3 goes, I did attempt to do exercise one 4, 5, maybe even 6 times. I'm definitely still struggling with it, like just like everybody else. So please don't think just because I'm hosting, I'm not as qualified to speak on these subjects. I'm basically a learner, just like everybody else. Um, but some of the things that I did note were some of the like physical experiences that I had, and it could have just been something as simple as like like a cold chill on a certain place of my body, or getting that icky crawly feeling like a bug is on you. um I know I've struggled with the losing count as well. I think I've heard that a couple different times. I think that's pretty normal. um Struggling more the closer you get to the 50 count. And then I personally have been really guilty of falling asleep while trying to do the exercises. So I think I'm going to have to change up the time frame that I'm picking to try to do it, because nighttime just it gets me. And I think I might have accidentally trained myself to fall asleep on command quite a long time ago with the job that I had and the way it was set up. I had 15 minutes and I wanted to sleep. Um, so now I'm trying to work on fighting to keep myself from not getting so into alpha than that I just flat out go to sleep. But it's definitely been a struggle. I don't think when Matt placed it as exercise one in the book, his intention was to discourage everybody from continuing with the rest of the book, despite how everyone has felt about it. Um, I really do think he did it on purpose, because training your mind to focus um, is a lot easier said than done, especially in the day and age that we live in, with everyone and their daily responsibilities, just as human beings, and with any jobs that you might work, and the digital world that we live in, where we're constantly being overwhelmed by new information everywhere that we look. So I think it makes it all the more important, to be able to still your mind, because I imagine even though I'm not great with energy work, I imagine that when we do get to that point where we are advanced and you are able to work with it, it's something that's very, very loose because it's all around us, very fluid, like the energy that we would work with, very fine. And, if you were to do something like to go hold, um, running water in your hands, if you were to just cup your hands, you notice that even with you cupping your hands as tightly as you can, some of that energy still slips through, like some of the water still slips through. And I kind of imagine that's what energy work would be like. It's something that's very fine, it's very loose, it's very hard to work with and control. So being able to have that focus so you can narrow down where you direct your energy is going to be all the more helpful, not just as someone who's trying to improve your psychic abilities, but also to when you work your magic, because that is literally us trying to work with and manipulate the energies around us to our will. So i I definitely see where he was going with it. I think it was ingenious. I don't believe, and I might just be talking on my butt, and you can call me on it later down the road, but I don't believe any of the other exercises in this book will even begin to compare in terms of difficulty as far as trying to complete it. Um, and then just on a side tangent, because I know I'm really running my mouth, I also noticed for the people who were sharing their exercise logs about exercise one, I was seeing a lot of people were getting like really discouraged and really disappointed when, they weren't having um, different like unique experiences, like, oh, I'm not hearing anything, I can't visualize things. I Please do not go forward with the exercise in this book judging yourself or being really harsh on yourself about the experiences that you may or may not have while you're trying to work through everything in the book. Um, like I said to Miss Sarah when she posted about her exercise log, don't get disappointed by it. The intent of this exercise was just to be able to teach yourself to focus. Eventually, we will move into meditation. Um, for what one skill that you may be like really weak at when it comes to psychic abilities, there may be two other ones completely different from that one that you excel at, and everyone is going to be different in that. So if you are somebody who struggles with attention, if you are somebody who has aphantasia, I don't know if I said that right, um, you you might not have these things going for you, but there are still strengths in the pond for you to pick from. So I just want you guys to bear that in mind, and then just take his exercises as literally as you can, because they're like he never asks for more than what you can do. He's basically taking this book and almost teaching us like how to have psychic abilities and how to go about them and learn and train from the eyes of an elementary school teacher. And we're basically, all children at this point in terms of like what we know and how we can control these things. So I think that's really my only 2 cents on it. I think it was genius. Because it makes you realize like something that you might not give a lot of time a day. But I know I didn't before I picked up the book. I was not the kind of person to meditate. I wasn't the kind of person to be like mindful or take a moment in my day to be still. Um, but that has had a lot of benefits, like health wise and mentally on me, as well as like my magical practice, albeit slightly, but just to begin to make the effort to train has been fruitful for me at least. So just stay encouraged, you guys. I know it's a little difficult, but stay encouraged. Um, Rock Girl, I
Can I
see you.
popcorn myself in?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was about to say you already got yourself off mute, so you can go ahead and take over from here.
I wanted to say that I'm
Don't be
finding
sticky. Don't be sticky.
this reaction to this exercise really fascinating because for me, this is the easiest one, at least so far. And I don't know how old Matt Aron is, but I wonder if it's a generational thing. Just because millennials and younger, of necessity, grew up in a world where there were a lot of distractions and all different screens, and I don't know, at least this is what the sociologists say. Um, because like as far as ADHD symptoms go, I mean, I have those too, but I'm able to do this backwards counting pretty successfully most of the time. So that's just a wondering in my head. But it also might be that y'all are being way too hard on yourselves, because just a thought flitting through your mind is not a distraction. That doesn't mean you have to start over. If it doesn't interrupt your count, if you don't forget where you are, I say just keep going. Because even like a Zen master would not tell you to start over because a thought successfully flitted through your mind and left. And the way Matt writes it, it sounds like he kind of expects you to see the numbers and only the numbers all the way down. And I think that's just ridiculous. So I think maybe it's not as hard as people are thinking it is, just from the way Matt wrote about it. 2 cents.
Y- 50, 70
Can I?
millimeters. Yeah, you can go.
Okay. And you can hear me okay?
Wonderfully.
Okay. So it's interesting. Out of all the exercises, my favorite one was number 3. And that was very comforting. I did not feel awkward saying the affirmations. And I always looked forward to doing them. I think the challenge with the counting is that it was misleading because it was just counting backwards. I think I had an expectation that, oh, well, this is going to be easy. And I think I was surprised that it wasn't as easy as I assumed it was. So I think it was just being surprised that it wasn't what my expectation was. But I think it's like anything's like a muscle memory. The more you do it, then eventually it would be just like saying the alphabet, or counting forward. And then exercise number 2, I found very, very challenging. And I think it was challenging me to give myself permission to pretend that I have the ability or the intuition or the skill to live my um to get what I desire or it's hard for me to choose the words, but I think that one I found the most challenging because I think it was kind of giving myself permission to dream, maybe. That's how I'll say.
Okay, did you want to try to popcorn over to anyone else, see if anyone else had anything else that they wanted to share?
Okay, I would choose Morgan.
Morgan, you there? We might have lost Morgan. Oh, okay. We'll give Morgan a second. In the meantime, yeah, I think everyone got so caught up on exercise 1 and what it was asking of us that we didn't even move to 2 and 3, or if we did, we didn't give it a lot of thought. Exercise 3. Oh no. It's okay. We're gonna handle it and then come back and we'll get to you. Exercise 3, the psychic affirmations. Now that one does actually excite me. That exercise, because I personally utilize just like affirmation phrasing a lot in my practice, and then I do it now daily, passively, for whatever situation possibly applies for me. So what about you guys? Did you do the affirmations like straight from the book? Did you like come up with your own? How did you feel about it when you did it? Because I know when I do my affirmations, I love it. I stand in the mirror. I got one right now about wanting to be a sexy, smart mom who makes like a lot of money. And I generally end up in like a upbeat, excited mood after I do it. And my day just gets like a little bit glowier, a little bit brighter after I do my affirmations. Um, the psychic ones, like I said before, I've incorporated that into my practice. So I definitely think they have been successful. Um, has anyone else had the same results with that?
Is it okay if I go?
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, just going back briefly to exercise 1, I think I definitely agree with Rat Girl on how it's probably a big attention span thing. Um, and I think it's a good exercise. I think what bothers me the most is that he kind of sets it up so that you're supposed to reach an alpha brainwave state by the time you reach 0. And because I get messed up with the numbers, I start thinking about the numbers. And if you start thinking, you're kind of breaking that like alpha brainwave state, if I understand it correctly. And that's what bothers me the most about it. Not so much that I can't count backwards. It's that I kind of interrupt my flow when I do. I haven't tried in all earnesty exercise 2, like giving myself some space to pretend and to really lose myself kind of in that character. So I can't really talk about that one that much. The affirmations are great. I think I need to get back on them. For a while, that was my nightly routine. I would have I don't have a rosary, but I made kind of something out of yarn where I tied knots. And I would just give myself an affirmation to work with every night and make sure that I hit every knot in my little yarn thing. And it felt nice. I liked it a lot. And I think they are very important for anybody trying to accomplish anything, not just, you know, psychic witchery or whatever you want to call it. Um, I think everybody should be doing that in their daily life all the time. It's a good exercise for the mind and self-confidence. It's great. I guess we're still waiting on Morgan to get back. I'd like to hear their thoughts.
Sure. I was like, wait a minute, there was something else. Wait, oh, water. Well, anyway, I kind of I'm not sure if this was the intention, but I kind of had to like visualize an actual number going backwards. Like, uh, in elementary school, there was like those really big number thingies that you would see when you're like in gym class, and you kind of could pull it back. And so that was the only way I was able to keep it like consistent. And so I'm not entirely sure if I was actually getting into the alpha state because I had to concentrate so much on which number came after that one. So like especially with like kind of piggybacking on what Puppetology said, I think it kind of broke away from actually going into like that state. It did help with the concentration part, and I also feel like uh it would be a good exercise for like general like maybe like intuition, because I can like I know a little bit from experience it can be so fast, and then your logic brain and your like psychic brain can sometimes be feel like two different muscles and they can clash. So can see how it could be like a good exercise to get started with it, but it was really difficult. I haven't tried exercise 2 because of the partnered experience. And definitely would love to, if anybody doesn't have a partner, would love to talk to someone about partner. And The third one, I actually have done that one for a little while. I use an app that basically you record your own affirmations and then you hear yourself say it again so that you can kind of hear it on the go. So that's helped. And it's kind of like a nice grounding thing. But I like the idea of like having like something physical to play with as well, so you don't get distracted. Like Puppetology said. So those are my couple opinions on the exercises. Did everybody else go?
I don't see anyone else coming off of mute, so I think that might have been everybody. Um, I'm glad the general consensus is the same in regards to exercise one. I definitely don't think it's something we're supposed to get caught up on, and I know I'm guilty of perfectionism, so I definitely have, which is part of the reason why exercise two didn't happen for me, but I do still 100% intend to try to do it. Um, I may not take a whole day. I might just what I might do is when we get a little closer towards the end of the meeting, I might offer the opportunity for everybody to try to go pair up separately and use the voice chat. That's not something I'm sure I want to include in the YouTube video that will be uploaded later for the people who weren't able to attend. So let me see if there's anything left for us to cover. Um, When reading through chapter one, I didn't think about it until after the fact earlier, but when reading through chapter one, there's like two or three things that Matt discusses before we get introduced to the exercises for the chapter. And the first thing was the, what was it? Reality is energy. And then I think there was another section about neuroplasticity, and then the last one was about childlike wonder. And I did like the section about childlike wonder the most because I I feel very childlike at heart. Um, and I think that might contribute a little bit to me always being a little more on like the open receptive side, um, which does present its challenges, but when we're all children, if you think you can't be a psychic, and if you were to, if you had an opportunity to like talk to a stranger about psychic abilities, Matt does point out the fact that innately at birth everyone was psychic because we were all children. We all had imaginations that would run wild, and there was no hesitation. There was no limits. There was no pressures or concerns about society or like friends or family or anything else coming in and impacting that. We were just unbridled, untrained, wild psychic energy. And I think when he put in exercise two, he had that in mind. Like, if you can tap into like your inner child or the child you that existed, before you went through life, before you grew up, before you had to be an adult, that would be like your best place to be mentally to be able to um, experience the psychic world a little bit better. So I think just with my personality, I am a little more on the childlike side. So some of it is a little bit easier for me, and then the rest of it there still are challenges because I am still an adult. So I think he just wants us to channel our inner child and have fun with it. Because I think that's when we are the most open, and we are at our best to be able to receive all of this additional information that's readily available to us. Um, so as far as exercise two goes, when this meeting is over, if we all go meet back in the Psychic Woods channel, we can try to pair up then. I know that I set a poll that will expire in a couple days for everybody's best time zones. You guys don't have to necessarily partner up with one person. The group that you see who has voted for the same time frames as you, everyone that has voted there and has that, they are an option for you to partner with. So, don't be shy. Like the Psychic Witch channel that Ivy set up for us is there. So that way, if you want to partner up with someone, if you want to make arrangements, DM somebody, pair up with 2 or 3 other people, even if you want to get through that exercise. I don't think it'll hurt the experience, but you can get through it that way. And that's why that poll is up there. So ideally, again, whoever you see there is who you should be able to, reach out to and be the most likely to be able to set something up with because they have a schedule that's somewhat similar to yours. Um, I was planning to I was planning to partner up with someone, but unfortunately she did have to back out of the book club meeting. So I am also open for a partner. Um, so we can try to look into that after the meeting is over. Uh, it was chapter one. It was small. Wasn't anything like too crazy. We haven't even gotten into the nitty gritty yet. So I guess I will just close out this meeting first by clarifying, what's going to happen next. So there will be another meeting on Sunday, like this upcoming Sunday. No, you do not have to attend. It's not mandatory for any of the meetings. However, if you maybe didn't get a chance to work through the exercises, something I would like to do is throw in a time frame in there where there is an opportunity for us to do so while we have these meetings. But you won't miss any information that we didn't already go over in the first meeting on Wednesday. So if you want to show up again for a second time, if you don't, it's entirely up to you. Um, I know next week on Wednesday will be our meet 3, and we will be covering chapter 2 and all of the exercises in that. I did read ahead a little bit, and I noticed that Matt actually offers an array of different exercises for you to try depending on like the circumstance or what you need. So I'm not so sure it'll be difficult for us to get through all of those just because ideally you probably want to just pick one of the exercises that you feel like you do really well with, or it suits you, or you just feel called to it, whatever resonates for you. So I don't think it'll be required to go through and do every literal one. Probably just experiment, see which one actually works and gives you the intended effect of what Matt was going for, and then just move forward with that one. um, so that is what next week we'll cover. Did anybody have any questions? Do you guys have any like closing comments or concerns before we wrap up this meeting and we call it a day?
I'd like to say thank you for putting all this together and for, setting all this up. It can't be easy. I would never. Um, I also want to clarify that so this upcoming Sunday, are we just gonna like if we do attend again, are we kind of talking about the same exercises again and
hmm
like how we've progressed on them? Is that kind of the idea?
if you do show back up and you were here for the first one, yes, ideally we would probably talk more in detail about any other new experiences that you had. Um, And then I imagine, I don't know why, but I'm seeing in my head already that like we might not have a lot of people that attend on Sunday, even with it being on the weekend. So if anything, whether there's more people here or there's not, if there's more people, then it'll probably be more of a discussion based thing from beginning to end. But if there's not, then we can just take that hour and then everybody like split up, try to partner up and actively work through the exercises then. So that's probably what Sunday's meeting will look like. It can go either way at this point. Um, but yeah, any new
Yeah, that's wonderful.
updates?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I do not mind doing this at all because I was going to go through the book with or with or without like someone else to work through it with. I'm really just more so like grateful to Ivy like for giving us the space to do all of this. I am doing a lot of things I would not have expected myself to do just by being more active in the server, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the opportunity, and I'm grateful. And I also just really enjoy magic and the occult. So this isn't really, it's not like work for me. Does that make sense? It's something I'm passionate about. So it feels more like, I don't want to say a hobby, but it feels more like almost like soul work. I guess that's the best way I could say it. So you're very welcome. Thank you everybody for coming to our very first, well, our second meeting for the first official chapter of the book. I look forward to being able to talk to everybody more. And I do hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you over in the Psychic Witch channel, okay?